Hi, Misha here, and look at my ball. Actually, balls. Hey, have another Eaglemoss Star Trek model here. This is the first Federation's Fesarius from the original series, episode Corbomite Maneuver. And yeah, this model is a ball. It is a textured ball. It is all plastic on the outside, but it does have a decent weight in the middle, kind of a center core. It's there to give weight, but also, keep it from cracking or just kind of give it a backing. This model, there's not a whole lot to it, as you would imagine from a TOS model, even though this is technically the one from TOS Remastered. But I picked it up for a few reasons. One, I needed another model on the order to get free shipping, and I had a coupon code for 15% off anything. And two, because the episode Corbomite Maneuver was actually very important in Star Trek history. And three, the Corbomite Maneuver was the very first episode of the original series that I ever watched myself, personally. Before I get into that, the model itself is fine as far as I can tell. I mean, it's a ball. It has texturing, reasonable size, all things considered. It's a ball. I brought the Borg sphere out to show that we've had other balls in the collection. In fact, this was issue 10, so it's ancient, really. I never minded the model itself except for this. The fact that they have a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom for the peg. And it's not just a hole kind of small and hidden. It's so apparent. I mean, yes, it holds the model very well, but it's so ugly. And I don't know why they had to put two. If they had to do one for the bottom, okay, but they put two so you could display it either way. Why they used a stand with a peg, I don't know. This is what they should have done. This little cradle. It holds it very well and lets you display it any which way you want. So much so that I kind of wouldn't mind if they redid the sphere with the same stand and just filled in these holes. I don't know why, but those really, really bother me. They just don't seem right. They're so glaring on an otherwise decent model. So yeah, if they ever want to re-release this with the Fesarius style mount and stand, I'd actually probably be in for it just because that bugs me so much. So that's why I brought out the Borg. They're really about the same size. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they used the same kind of inner metal lining. But I thought I'd also talk about the episode itself. It was actually the first regular episode. Before it, we had the Cage pilot and Where No Man Has Gone Before pilot. This was the first one put into production as just a regular weekly episode. Although it didn't air until the 10th slot in the season, actually on November 10th, 1966, which is my birthday. It took so long to get it ready as an episode because of the special effects. There was the Fesarius itself, which at the time was basically just a big glowing ball with lots of little glowing balls inside. There was also the buoy or probe that the first Federation had, which was a cube. And there was the so-called pilot ship, which was a small scout craft that separated from this, also made of glowing balls. In the episode, We have a lot of firsts. It's kind of the first time we start to see Spock behaving like Spock. It was the first time we saw Uhura and Dr. McCoy, as well as Yeoman Rand. It's also the first time that Sulu was at the helm of the ship, because previously he'd been the ship's physicist. It's also the first time the Enterprise shot its phasers. And it was the first time that the Space, the Final Frontier intro monologue was used, amongst other firsts. It's also just a good episode where there wasn't truly a villain. There was a lot of mental bluffing, but it was definitely action as well. Just a good exemplar of Star Trek, and kind of an early finding their feet. Kind of amazing. Plus, it begins with McCoy giving Kirk a prostate exam in sickbay. Well, they say it was a full physical, but we know what that means. So yeah, the episode, the Fesarius is there. First they find the probe, the buoy, which was a cube about 107 meters. They end up destroying it. Then the Fesarius comes. It's huge. It's about 5,000 meters. And it invades the Enterprise's computers and systems and is about to destroy them. Then there's the whole Corbomite trick where Kirk bluffs them, saying if basically they destroy the Enterprise, then it'll take them with them. Interestingly, in this episode, they really didn't know what time in the future it was. And if you read some of the earlier books and things published in the 60s and 70s, it seems like it happened in the late 22nd century, around 2180, 2190. It wasn't until later that they established it was 2266. Anyway, after Kirk's bluff works, then the pilot ship leaves the Fesarius to take the Enterprise to essentially a prison planet where it will be interred. And the crew interned. We know that the commander of this ship is Balak. He says that the Fesarius is the flagship of the First Federation. And, yeah, then the pilot ship does another little trick on them, pretending to be disabled and giving the Enterprise a chance to destroy it. They don't. Friendly relations ensue. Huzzah, huzzah. They all drink grapefruit juice. And the end. You never really see the First Federation again, although it's referenced a couple of times. It shows up on a few star maps, their space, and it's referenced in Deep Space Nine with the export of their grapefruit juice stuff. I forget what it was called. It started with a T. Sorry. So they've never really appeared again, but it seems like good relations were established with the Federation after that. And like I said, this was the first episode of TOS that I saw myself, and I would say it's a very good introduction. I'm actually glad I saw it before seeing things like Mantrap, or even Charlie X. I think it was a really good intro, so it holds a special place for me, even if the model that represents it is rather basic. Of course, it's numbered and all that good stuff, as usual with Eaglemoss. But I more or less have it as a memento of my introduction to Star Trek, so we'll go with that. And like I said, really wouldn't mind if the Borg sphere were reissued. Funnily enough, the Borgs had the Borg cube, and the First Federation had the cube. They both seem to really like basic geometric shapes. Alrighty, guys. Just hadn't done a Star Trek video in a while and thought might as well. Any questions or comments, please post them below. And if you could, like, share, and subscribe. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon next time.